Man, can you imagine? Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. We're going to talk about it all. We have an amazing crew with us. All right. We've got the amazing Dr. Valerie Popple. We have
Hey,
what? And she said,
what?
"What's up?" She said, "What's up?" She knows she's what's good. And we have Dr. Eve. Uh, and you know what? What we're trying to do right now is just talk about things that are on everyone's plate right now. Like I said, um we have amazing display of people that can talk about all the different things that are affecting our lives right now, good and bad, bad and good. Sometimes the good will help you not think so much about the bad. Um, and I think we're well covered in this aspect. Um, you know, first things first. Sometimes the things that come to your mind first is what's going on and what makes people feel excited. So we're here. Basketball is over. Okay.
Oh,
Well, good or bad, like you know what
oh.
I mean. Like, yeah, good or bad. Basketball is over. The Lakers have won, and LeBron James has won. And so, to me, I think, and this is a season where so many different things have been going on. They put him in the bubble. It was a lot about Black Lives Matters, about African American athletes and athletes speaking out
Mhm.
on behalf of so many social issues, social injustice, um, and and here we are. So the most outspoken black athlete has won. To me, I'm enjoying it. I feel his power. I feel his energy. It hasn't always been this way. I would love both Dr. Eves and Dr. Val to speak on it because I think it's I think it's bigger than basketball. We love basketball. I think this is bigger than that. Um, your thoughts,
Absolutely,
please,
absolutely. I'll take the rock on that one. So
please.
the first our first concern was the bubble. Uh, the concept was a new concept. I thought it was 50-50. I thought the bubble could be a wonderful thing, but I thought the bubble could burst also. So I would say from a medical standpoint, I think we really need to study what went down in the bubble and how they kept everyone safe, how they got through that season. And Dr. Valerie could talk about the other topic. I was worried about the players for different reasons. They may sneak
Mhm.
out the bubble because they have needs. That's not my. Dr. Valerie will take that one.
I got it.
But but from the medical standpoint, they did an amazing job. I really think that needs to be studied. I think it's an example for probably what we could do with schools and other things. Maybe not
Mm.
exactly the way they did it, but definitely they did something right, and they were very successful. So I was tremendously happy for that.
Mhm. I was equally as happy and I was really excited. LeBron is just, he's iconic. He's a supreme athlete in every way, right? He's just supreme in every way. And, picking up that bubble from Dr. Eve, you know, do coaches still tell their players not to have sex before the game? I really want to know. Can we just go there for a second? Do they still do that? Or is like, can they just go for it? You don't know. Speak to me. Come
Mm.
on.
You know what? That's a great question. That was an
I
old
want
school,
to know.
that was an old school thing, right? They used to do that. Like, yeah, like they would like, don't be with your wife. You know, back in the days, it was like, you know, it was with your wife. It wasn't with the side piece. You know, that was the problem this time. The problem this time was with the side piece and the lemon pepper wings.
Exactly.
We never had a problem like this before.
Yeah. So this is where I jump in as a safety officer. You know, we have to we love and respect Magic Johnson, but you know, there's some issues around this. There's some safety issues around this. You know, when he came out and said he had HIV, it was a big deal, and you know, it's you know, something we have to be careful for how we promote this, how we discuss this. You know, he's done very well. He's benefited from wonderful medicine. We've made great progress. The life expectancy has changed dramatically. There's only a 2-year spread if you have HIV in terms of your life expectancy versus others. But when HIV first came out, your chances of survival were
stop it.
Yeah.
Again, can I and Dr. Eve, I mean, and Dr. Val, I remember, you know, I want to hear your expertise on this, but I can remember, you know, I was in LA at the time. You know, we were doing the house party movies. Well, house party 1, 2, 3. I don't remember. We did so many house parties. I don't remember. But we was doing a house party. Okay.
Okay.
And the word got down that Magic had the virus, and I remember everybody was so like. There's nothing we could say, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We didn't know. We thought if you got the virus, it was a death sentence.
Exactly, it was a death sentence.
Right? That's how we looked at it.
Right.
And then that's not how it turned out for Magic. You know, I don't know. You know, it's almost like the way it's going down with the virus now. Like, you know, you know what I mean? But for Magic at the time, we thought he was gonna die. And we were so you know, we were so disheartened. We were just like, man, but he got the best of the best.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Whatever.
Absolutely.
And it's almost, excuse me, tell me, in terms of like what Donald Trump's treatment was, man, you getting the best of the best. You getting the stuff that ain't even approved.
Of course.
Yes.
You got it, because you got it like that.
Yes.
And I'll never remember I'll never forget this. Excuse me. There was a time when Magic was, he was doing real good, and they had an interview with his doctor, Dr. Ho.
You got good. Look at this man is brilliant.
Yeah, look at you.
What?
Step up, baby.
Wait,
what am I doing here?
Am I wrong?
You hit that on the nail.
Dr. Ho, right?
Exactly.
Okay, and so Magic is doing good. He's doing good. And then Magic think, man, I'm doing good. I don't gotta take all these medicines. I don't gotta take all these treatments. And this Dr. Ho tell him, and Dr. Ho said, and when he stopped taking those medicines, what happened? Everything started rising up, right? Like he's like, I don't gotta take this. And Dr. Ho told him, you gotta take these. You have to do what you have to do. He thought he was safe, and all them levels start rising up. Am I wrong?
Survival look. Yes.
Am I wrong? Am I crazy?
That's
Dr.
a great piece of great piece of history there.
That is.
It's a lesson for all of us. There's so much there, right? So there's also what we talk about is called health disparities, right? So depending on who you are, your resources, we saw this with COVID, unfortunately. We saw our people disproportionately hit by this thing, died. Numbers very disproportional from, white people, people of privilege. We saw things that, they tell people shelter in place. But what's your shelter? Is it a 600 square foot place where 5, 6, 7 people in a house? Or is it in the Hamptons, a 6,000 square foot place where everybody has a bedroom and everyone could be distant and you have outdoors and you have fresh air and everything like that?
Mm-hmm.
So these are things that, really came about from COVID that I hope that we learn some lessons from this. And we really start to become thoughtful and start to put resources into making, cutting down on these disparities.
Man, look, can you imagine that, man? We started out with the Lakers, and then we ended up where we ended up. That's why I love this show. This show is crazy. Like ain't no telling.
Yeah. That was a perfect segue.
The other part I wanted to bring up was the economic piece that Kid was talking about, how LeBron stepped up. But remember, Colin did that, but he was alone. And they went for his wallets. And that probably hurt him for a little while. He ultimately settled something undisclosed. But I think finally, LeBron and company realized the worth of them collectively. And they almost shut down. We almost didn't see that ring, right? So
right.
The economics, I think we're starting to really understand and leverage our power economically. And sometimes you can't make America, you can't fix it based on ethics and moral values, etc. But America understands the bottom line, the green. And I think that's where we need to start flexing.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you.
Dr. Valerie, I might go a little off the topic list or whatever.
Okay, babe, go for it.
And because I'm gonna keep it real.
Keep it real.
Yeah, like we talked about a little bit last time about how relationships in the pandemic are under siege. They in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
It's the toughest time for relationships. And I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm going through that, but what I'm saying is, like, what can people, how can people get through it? Because you're trying to get through it, but it's very, very stressful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think both sides, male and female, want to know what can they do?
Right. And that's a multifaceted answer. And I'm going to piggyback on.
I need all the facets. Give me all the facets.
I'll give you as many.
Because she coming here in about 20 minutes. I need all the facets.
Lock the daggone door, kid. Lock the door.
No. You bust through that.
I'm going to piggyback on something that Dr. Eve said. and a few minutes ago is that, quarantining, and some people have the luxury of being able to quarantine in the Hamptons. I have two friends that quarantine on their yachts. I mean, I'm like, how lucky, how blessed are you to have yachts that you can, get on? And I ain't gonna lie, I was on the yacht too with them because I was like, well, let me get on that yacht. You asked me, I'm on there. But we all don't have friends that have yachts, and some of us like living in little apartments. Some are on the streets. Well, how do you protect yourself, right? And how do you take care of your mental and physical health? So, I mentioned this a little bit last week, but you have to really try to set boundaries. That's probably easier said than done, especially if you're in situations where there is domestic violence and domestic and emotional violence. So I put those two together because that's real. It doesn't always have to be physical. It can be emotional as well. And how do you do that? Like I mentioned, the one thing that I personally recommend is within your own place. If you have to say, you know what, I need 15 minutes by myself, just for yourself, go in the bathroom, go in the kitchen, and give your partner that time. You don't have to be under his or her butt 24/7 in quarantine. Take the time. And we all don't have the ability to leave and walk outside. And, if we're in apartments or condos, you have to stay in. Then go to the bedroom. If you have to shift it out, there's 4 or 5 people. But it's really important that people have their alone time, their digression time, that they can just be by themselves to do whatever they have to for their mental health. That's the first important thing, is set your boundaries and have really deep times of communication. This is a time because, you can't go anywhere and no one's coming over. I know for my husband and I, we talked about things that I thought we would never talk about. My husband he's Bavarian. I don't say German for a reason because he identifies as Bavarian. So, we had conversations around BLM. We had deep conversations being an interracial couple, like, you gonna say something or what? This just ain't my issue. I mean, hello, you gotta take a stand. And so we had conversations around that, which really enriched our relationship. Things we never thought we'd have to talk about, our kids, our grandkids, even leaving the country if something pops up. We've even had that conversation.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it's real. He gets it. He put out a beautiful statement about, his wife is Black and I support her. I support my Black grandchildren. I support my Black children. And that touched me. That was just amazing to see the outpour of our friends and family responding to that. So having deep communication, in addition to setting personal spaces that you can also do. So that's the first thing, kid. And you know what? Also, this is not the time where you can take one for the team. All right. You know what I mean by taking one for the team? You know what I mean by that? Like, your partner's just yippity yapping, it's in your ear, and you're like, yeah. There's too much stress for the yeah. It is perfectly okay.
No.
I need time.
Dr. Val.
Baby.
I'm going through it right now. Like I'm keeping it 100
right
with both of you. Like, and it took a long time to get to that point,
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean? We're at that, like, like that aggravation, that, you know what I mean? Like, like or everything, like, my what happens is a lot of times when you in the celebrity world, when you a celebrity, you make your world in entertainment, your life is unlike a 9-to-5 person. It's totally unlike that. And so when someone as a 9-to-5er sees you, every time she come home and you on the couch, she looking at you crazy, you know what I mean? But I don't, but I don't work like that.
Right.
They don't understand that.
Right.
It's
and,
like,
and so there's a question that maybe is, why doesn't she understand? Or why doesn't your partner understand? Have you had that communicative talk with her or him or your partner? I don't want to, there's no shame or guilt here, whatever it is. But have you had that communication with the partner? Say, honey, you know what? This is my life. I get off at whatever time, 4 or 5. I get in from a gig, I'm exhausted. So my hours aren't your hours. Have you really had that talk? Has she experienced your world?
Well, clearly we have not had that talk.
Because have that talk.
Because I'm under pressure. No, but to your point, people don't understand that. Like what I've always told women that I've been in a relationship is like, you have a 9 to 5. My job is 24/7. It doesn't matter. It could be any time. It could be any time I gotta get on and do something or da 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 da. You know what I mean? Like, right. your job has you know what I mean? Has boundary. Thank you, doctor. Boundary, structure. Man, you know what I mean? My thing is, dude, we can every time I go, I just like to tell people, like, every time I go out the house, I'm on the clock.
Right.
It's a different kind of job. It's a different, and I accept that. I accept that. But not everybody understands that. Right. They think, you know what they think? Dr. Val, Dr. Eves, they just like, yeah, man, you out here. Yeah, with you got with your little thing. Yo, man, like, we on the clock. If you're good at your job,
right,
you on it all the time. It just looks cool. It just looks, like, it looks like I ain't doing nothing. It looks like I ain't doing shit. But it's not like that. I gotta be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, and so when you get in pressure situations, in terms of a relationship, it's gonna look like you're not doing nothing, but that's not accurate. It's like, it's not doing nothing to you.
Right. Your persona is your job. That is your job, your persona. 24/7.
I think so. I don't know.
It's not even thinking.
Let me
persona is your job.
Help. Please help me. I'm talking to 2 doctors. Help me.
Well,
help me. 2 doctors. She's gonna be home in 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Talking help from God.
I gotta tell her something smart in 10 minutes.
What I found with this, I've been lucky. So I suffer not from the, not the movie star type of thing, rapper, but as a professional who has to work long hours, and especially emergency medicine, unpredictable. I'm fortunate I have a wife who understands that. It happens to be that her father was a physician, so she, went through that. She understands the lifestyle. But I've seen in situations, just as Kid is mentioning, that some people don't get it.
Right.
They just don't get it, and it creates an incompatibility.
Mm-hmm.
But I found that sometimes a trick that for me is, no matter what, I found sometimes I tell my wife something and she doesn't necessarily respond to it. And then somebody else will tell, like a friend will be talking to his wife and say the same damn thing. If she's like, yeah, that's right. Maybe we should do that, or maybe we should try this. And I'm like, I said the same thing last night.
Right.
So my point is, you need to get some backup, kid. Like,
word.
Other couples, maybe some of your other friends who've gone through the same thing, whose partners understand a little better, who could maybe take your partner to the side and be like, look, they taking care of this. They, their money's right. they're taking care of this, but in a different way. You know, we have a lot to be thankful for, but they need to hear it. Hearing it from you sometimes is just not going to do what it needs to do.
Right.
So get some help, kid. Get some backup.
Great point.
Right. All right. Look, this is the problem with our conversations. They're always awesome. And then we always get off all the topics that we were like, we supposed to be talking about the Lakers. How did we?
We don't go from COVID to communication. I don't know how that happened.
You know, this conversation started with the Lakers, and we.
Yeah, I think you were trying to get some free therapy, some free consultation.
I was,
and we oblige you because, you know, we love you, bro. We love you. We got your back.
I had a tough morning. That's not good.
I'm about to send your partner my number. So won't y'all give me a call? Let's talk.
Listen.
You know, I think with COVID, there's a lot of free services that are just going on. I think there's a lot of charity, and it's all good. It's all good.
All right, so let me try to get back on the message. Okay, what they said, what Brandon spent his good time doing. Okay, right. You know what? And I actually saw this earlier today. I saw Breonna Taylor's boyfriend. I don't know that we've seen him in this form or fashion, but he was in there talking about, like, you know, he spoke like yo, how they rolled up on the set and blah blah blah, and which is I know. I mean, I'm gonna leave it at that and get your opinion on that. But I do remember early on hearing that the police would, you know, like they were trying to make a deal with dude. Like saying, hey, man, you know, because he was dirty. He had some things in his past or whatever. And they was like, you know what? We'll make it go away if you say that it went down like that. But it didn't go down like that. Like, he's coming out in front and saying, hey, man, yo, I'm telling you, they didn't say they was police. They just kicked the door in, and I'm like, and I don't know if you guys ever been to Louisville. I've been to Louisville, man. It ain't, you know, it's nothing sweet. You know what I mean? Like, how am I, if you don't identify yourself as a police officer, what, you know, I'm gonna think you're not. I'm gonna think you trying to do me wrong. You trying to do me dirty. And
I'm licensed to carry.
And licensed to carry. Thank you, doctor. Licensed to carry, and he might got some. He might be dirty. So he thinking, you know, it could be. You know, you don't know what it is, to be honest. So
it's fear. It's what it is. He was afraid.
It's fear, and the worst thing about it, this young woman who wasn't in the game, I don't care what they're trying to say. They're trying to say, man, she got FedEx packet. Man, I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what that was. Act like she was getting dope packages from him on the FedEx. Man, she got shot. He didn't get shot.
Yeah.
It was a profound interview.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm emotional. I got 2 daughters. Like, I'm emotional. You know, I got 2 daughters. That's the same age.
I wanna jump in really quickly. I watched it earlier, and I never really knew exactly what happened with the whole Breonna Taylor situation. I knew it was very unjust, but hearing his story, it really infuriated me because it has all of the makings of, you know, how you'll watch certain media outlets, the quote unquote conservative ones, and they'll, you know, rally behind gun ownership, and how we love the Second Amendment and all of these things. And this brother did everything that any man who's carrying his family on his back would do. He heard a disturbance at the door. No one identified themselves, and he chose to protect himself. And the cops were so dirty that the entire situation, the waters were muddy, where they tried to discredit him and make it seem like he tried to shoot or potentially kill one of the officers, as if he was a drug dealer. And the entire situation, the full perspective is Breonna Taylor's ex-boyfriend, not the current boyfriend or the boyfriend survived.
Yeah.
The ex-boyfriend was a drug dealer.
That's who they were looking for, right?
Allegedly.
And if you heard the interview with Gayle King, you noticed that she's made this statement 3 times throughout her interview. Neither Kenneth nor Breonna had a criminal record. She made that statement purposely 3 times to let the listening audience know, I know what y'all are thinking. They're Black and they had something in their past, and that's why they got shot. And
the preconceived notion of criminality.
3 times that these 2 individuals did not have a criminal record. It was a really amazing interview, and listening and watching his facial expressions, him speaking about how he was, he held her hand, hold her down, when the shots went off. Speaking to, when they heard these knocks on the door and this banging, they had enough time, because they were in bed, right? So you think about they had enough time to put their clothes on. So think about it. What do you put your clothes on? 30 seconds if you're in a rush? The cops could not identify themselves in 30 seconds, say, I'm a police officer. It takes about that long, if that, to put your clothes on. Because he went outside and he did not have his socks and shoes on. So he had everything else on but his socks and shoes. And I don't know how they found Breonna.
Did she have clothes on?
I don't know. They don't talk about how they find her. No.
Exactly. We don't know.
But we know that he had everything on but his socks and shoes, which is more than enough time for the police to say who they were. It's fear. You think you're in bed. They were watching the movie Freedom Riders, right? So there's already thinking about, being hunted, being Black, what it takes, what's going on, the consciousness of being Black, being hunted. And then there's this that happens. So they're already anxious watching that. And someone knocks on their door like that and interrupts. Of course he's afraid. What man wouldn't protect his family, right? What man would not protect his family?
What time of clock was that? Wasn't that like 11, 12 o'clock? Like, wasn't it like late? It was late.
It was late. It was late. And also keep this in mind as well. He had a license to carry, and he had never shot his gun outside of the range. This is the first time. He shot it because he was afraid, and rightfully so. No one identifies who they are. There's no reason I'm going to shoot. And I don't care if they had a criminal record. I don't really care. There still is no right. There is no right to shoot someone in their home, in their bed, the way that they were assaulted. There's no right.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Wait, I'll just real quick and wait. And I know you're gonna jump on it. And they hid it for months.
Yeah. So this is where we, where we suffer, the traumas, the not even microaggressions, straight up aggression against us. And, when all of this was going down with Mr. Floyd, and, there was a response, but a lot of leaders, I had friends who called me who were white males, who were leaders with the same capacity I have. And like, I want to do something, but I don't know what to do as a white male. And, and I try to tell them, your responsibility is the same responsibility you have every day. You convene people, you hold meetings, you give people a forum to speak and express themselves. And I think what often we don't get to do is express ourselves. We come to work, we go about our business with all this baggage. This was a healthcare provider. The stresses that it puts on us, and then we're asked to be caregivers. It's just too much. It's a lot to ask for. And, they don't understand that. They don't understand how, our life is. We fear for our kids. We fear for ourselves. I have to explain to them. The first thing I do when I get in my car is I take my wallet out and I put it on the side. I take my police card that I've been given by police friends. I put it on the side. They don't understand that, and when I tell them these stories, they're like, you, Dr. DeRosso, Dr. Eve, like you, like, yes, this is the baggage that I carry, all my cousins, all my, my siblings, everyone, and they don't see that. They don't understand that. And I think we need to start to speak to this, the weight, the burden that we're carrying, and expect it to excel and do even better in our professional lives with all of this baggage that we're carrying. It's a lot.
It is a lot. And, I would love to take a minute to speak to the trauma that you brought up, Dr. Eve, about the trauma that we as Black or identify as African American go through. And, one thing that really struck me in Kenneth's interview, he didn't call the police first. Who did he call? His mom. He called his mother, not 911. Is it because of the fear of the police that he had to call his mom first? Now, I'm going to relay a personal story to you because it's relevant to the situation of where a young Black man will call his mom and not the police, and the mom called the police. This happened to me with my son. The same exact thing, the same exact sequence. He was coming back. He was a Marine and coming back from the war, Desert Storm, and he did not have his driver's license on him on Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. He had just landed in Dover, Delaware, driving through back home to Norfolk, Virginia. And at this time, this was where the Rodney King beatings had happened. This was his time frame, to give you a reference. And the police pulled him over on the bridge. He didn't have his license, didn't have his insurance. He had just stepped off the plane. They pulled him over. The first thing he does, he calls me. He says, Mom, at this time he was 27 years old? 27, terrified. I said, honey, DJ is his name. I said, I'm going to record it. I'm going to record it. You stay calm. Because he had heard about what happened with Rodney King. And so it speaks to the fear in his voice. I remember that so distinctively, the fear that he had, the fear that Kenneth had, that someone was breaking into his home to harm his or her partner. It's unspeakable for me, really, to think of how the trauma that we have gone through as a race, how we still live into that today. And then our generation, when he talked about when he had the little baby shoes, I started crying on the baby shoes. They had a name for their child. What was it? Oh God, what was the name of that they had for? Anybody remember? It was a combination of their two names.
Wow.
A child that would never be, because her mother was killed needlessly.
Wow.
The little Jordans were there. It was it touched my heart so much.
And he said that was his best friend. That really, it touched me because I feel the same way he feels. Mm-hmm. It's so unfortunate.
It is so unfortunate. And you speak about post-traumatic stress syndrome. That PTSD really became a common frame of reference, especially after 9/11, because so many people witnessed the plane striking the towers. And so they relived it over and over again, not just our military, but just common people just doing the work. And so that phrase really became something that everyone was listening to. And if you think about and understand some of the dynamics regarding, post-traumatic stress syndrome and what one goes through, I can only speak that I hope he has someone, a therapist that he's going to work with, because he will be forever changed. His new partner will be forever changed. And I'm going to say this one thing about mental health and Black men. He went through a horrific experience. And in the interview, he spoke to the point of seeing a therapist, but he doesn't believe in it. Doesn't believe in it. That's a common thread with Black men. Not believing.
Because you know why?
Help. Why is that, kid?
Well, I'll say this on my part. Like, I've had friends of mine that have gotten psychiatric help, and most of them are like white people. But where I'm from, that's viewed as you're weak. Like, you're weak. You gotta sit down on a couch and talk to a doctor or talk to a white dude. You weak. Like, you're supposed to, I don't know what it is. Like,
supposed to pray on it.
Or excuse me, or Dr. E, you just supposed to get through it.
Yep.
Like, you just supposed to get through it.
Man up.
Like, yeah, man up. Be a man. Be a man. Be a man. Don't sit down on a couch and cry to somebody. Like, look, I come from the hip hop era, you know what I'm saying? Like, we wasn't the toughest rappers or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? But we were told that's weak. Get over it. Get through it. Everything. Look, look, all of us, I grew up in Black America. I grew up in New York City. It's always get over it. Like, get over it. Right? And guess what? You can't always get over it.
You're right. You can't.
You can't. So as Kid is speaking, I'm having flashbacks of something I never experienced. I never experienced slavery personally, but I just had flashbacks. Get over it.
Yep.
They always tell you that. Get over it.
That's our legacy, right?
It is our legacy. You mentioned it. Yep.
You don't have anyone to speak to.
They always tell you that. They always tell you, white people always tell you, I didn't enslave your people, get over it. Man, that's not the point. That's not the point. You don't understand. You don't understand what I'm talking about. And the derivative aspects, of slavery, and which turns into police behavior, like, all this stuff, man. Like, people think like it doesn't connect, but it connects. And just get over it. Like,
and the explanation is the same from the beginning of our experience. Whatever trauma we're dealing with from the time of slavery, the explanation is get over it.
That's it.
And I think that's probably what we've passed on through generations and generations. No matter what the hardship is, get over it.
Get over it. And how do we get over it? Drinking.
I don't know. Yeah.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Promiscuity. Acting out. Aggressive behavior. Violence. Internal violence. External violence.
Wilding out.
Exactly. That's how some of us manage. That we're in this state of hyper anxiety constantly. And then there's I don't trust white therapists. I don't trust, and I don't recommend any of my clients go to white therapists that are Black. I personally don't trust them. It's not that, and that's a strong word to say. And I mean what I said. I don't trust that they understand my experience to help me. That's what I want to say. You don't understand that my grandmother would say, oh, Val is so stupid. She's going to be an ugly little thing when she grow up. Just ignore her when I was around white men in the house with her when she was cleaning. That was her way to protect me. Like this old little ugly black thing. Don't worry about her, But that was her way of saying, don't look at her. She's just a little ugly thing. Of her to protect me. She's not going to understand the legacy of that. And then the self-esteem issues that I had, knowing that my grandmother would say I was ugly. But now, as I grew up, now I get it. It was her way to protect me, to have the white eye not look at me.
As a threat.
I understand it now.
That's a bomb.
That is deep.
That's a bomb right there. That's a bomb.
That's deep.
That's a bomb. That's a bomb. But guess what? I mean, look at that. And that's so deep and that's so, like incredible. And then imagine you coming up in the 60s and the 70s, mixed. You don't know, you know what I'm saying? You don't know who wants you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what side wants you. So, and once again, that's something that we have to fix within ourselves, you know what I mean? And and it took me a minute, but once I was able to do it, like, yo, boom, I know who I am. This is how I'm rocking. And I'm gonna roll on it like that. People understand that, like, you know what I'm saying? And wife, they don't have that problem. They don't have that problem. They don't have jumping on each side or whatever. They just don't have that problem. And in times like today, when things are really, diametrically composed, like when Black Lives Matter is this and that, man, they don't have that problem. They don't have that problem. We have that problem. But the great news is smart minds like yourselves. That's what's gonna help people, because people need that help. People need that help.
They do need.
I'm not one of the smart minds. I'm just one of the. I'm not saying I'm one of the smart minds. I'm just one of the people that have been affected. You know what I mean? So I can speak experience. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's accurate. I'm not gonna accept that.
Nope.
I think you, or maybe you trying to, hide behind something. You trying to. Yeah. Yeah. No.
That's the thing.
You should embrace your success.
Exactly. Success.
Well,
I'm gonna embrace it for you.
I'll say this. The one thing I'll say.
You know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Why don't we embrace our successes? Why aren't we worthy of success? Why can't we own and verbally say, I worked hard, I am successful. I own it.
I think we suffer from imposter syndrome more than anybody else.
That's a key. That's the word, the phrase.
I think Kid was slipping into that, and I'm not going to let him do that to us.
Right.
We are all incredibly successful in our own rights and what we've achieved, what we will continue to achieve, the influence that we have. We're here, and we're just as smart. We're just as energetic. We want all the same things that everybody else is getting. No different. So.
No different.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. Look. Someday I ain't gonna lie. Some days I feel just like that. Some days I'm real jumpy, and I'm like, man, like I know where I come from, and I know what, you know what I mean. Like I know what where I've been. I don't know what I've surmounted. You know what I mean? Some days I'm like that. And then other days I'm not like that. You know what I'm saying? Some days I'm not like that. Like so.
And that's
you know
okay.
What I mean?
That's all right.
Yeah. I got
that's
good days
all
and
of
bad
us.
days. I got good days and bad days.
That's right. We all have good days and bad days. And vacant self-esteem, imposter syndrome, it is a real concern for African Americans. We do not value our worth. I will tell you one thing I have found out, especially when I go to Europe, self-esteem issue is something I don't hear coming from white people, especially from white men. I haven't met one yet that says they have an esteem issue. They're born into that entitlement, that privilege.
Right. To the manner born.
Yes.
Like
that's how they're born into it.
Yeah.
That generational legacy of financial wealth that they pass down. So they don't go out and buy Louis Vuitton and all. They just go. It passes down to legacy, to grandchild, to great grandchild to take care of that. And our people, because we're new money. We're just new money, right? Most of them have had before. I never had before. I had to bust my ass to get it now. So I'm considered new money. My husband's considered old money. And his ability to be frugal, I'm like, why the hell are you so like, I call it cheap. He's like, no, I'm frugal. I'm like, no, you're cheap. But I get it. And it's something that I learned, honest to God. Because I would just be like, I don't like those. I'm going to get something else. That's just a waste of money. And I'm like, well, I got the money to waste. Why can't I? And I really had to and I'm not, I'm like, maybe an economics lesson. I don't know.
You can't make money spending money.
Yeah. He's like, you got to be smart about it. And it just took me a minute, not a minute, maybe a few years. Because we'll keep it real, to get understanding generational legacy and financial empowerment. It's just as vital. It will set up your children, your grandchildren, your lineage for success. This sure isn't going to hurt them.
It's the things that will help you. It's that security that's going to help you get through the pain. It's not everything.
Right.
I deal with a lot of people with a lot of money, as you guys do, and they have all the same hurt, and they deal with but it's a different kind of situation than when you have to worry where your next meal is coming from.
That's it.
I'm going to pay my rent.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different level of stress.
Mm-hmm.
And I would rather not have that stress or have to deal with that and think of bigger things and deal with other issues.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a security I think my kids have that they don't even realize they have.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't never realize it, bro. You better say that again.
I remember Jay talking about how he's going to bring his kids back to Bed-Stuy. Like, okay,
stop
really?
Stop it. Listen, I used to tell my kids. Listen, my kids, when they, years ago, when they were younger, and they would go, they want this, they want that, and I used to tell them, I was like, yo, bro, like I don't take a bus to work. I don't drive a car. To like, dude, I gotta fly, dude. I fly all over the place to try to get money. And you walk up to me, like an ATM, and like you press my stomach. like it's the digits, and hold your hand out, and you just get money, and you don't know where it came from. You don't know what I had to do to get it. I said, you lucky. I was thinking about my father today. I was thinking about like all the lessons and the beatings, but I don't regret any of them, but he, you know what I mean? Like, yo, like it's a different world. I get it. You know, we have to deal with it. But trust me, man, and come on, Dr. Eves, you know what I mean? Your family's Caribbean. I know my family's Jamaican. Trust me, we all black. Trust me.
Yes.
They didn't. They came a different way, and trust me, it was tough. It was super tough.
Absolutely.
But I'm so glad. I'm so glad they taught me that way, because it's the right way. It's like, they didn't let us get away with nothing. They was like, niggas, stop it. Am I wrong?
No, that's
you're right.
Yeah.
I never missed a beating. I got every beating. I got every beating. Every beating I was owed, I got.
Yeah.
And then when he got older, he was like, yeah, my father. Oh God, this is the funny thing about my father, my Jamaican father, right? So when he beat me to death, like, you know what I mean, just to make sure that I did what I was supposed to do, and all this and that. Going through hip hop, all this stuff. I got everything. Get a beating, all right. And then when he gets older and I have kids, and then he turns into this kindly old Jimmy. I didn't know. And my kids are like, why he's so nice? I was like, he's lying. He's lying. He beat me all the time. Stop. And they're looking at me like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, no, he's lying. And my father's like, I was a kindly old Jimmy. I was like, stop it. He replayed his whole flow, yo. I'm like, stop it.
But you said something, kid. He said he didn't know. So where did he get that I hate to keep turning this back, and people don't realize how things are tied into slavery. We used to get beat. I used to have to faire à genoux. Creole, that means get on your knees. Where did that come from? That's not a construct my dad just learned when he was, that was passed on from somewhere.
Exactly.
Who puts a kid on their knee? I can't even imagine doing that to my son. And it ties back to that whole therapy. Mm-hmm. Do you talk to someone or do you beat them down?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And our legacy was you beat them down into submission. Mm-hmm. And this is how we understand how discipline works. Mm-hmm. You don't talk to someone, that's therapy.
Right.
That's not part of our legacy. And all of these things are intertwined and we don't even realize it. And we need to start understanding these things and the legacy of street slavery and why we are the way we are. And until we understand that, we can't break out of those chains. Literally, the chains.
Literally, we are all, whether we're doctors, lawyers, comedians, nurses, we are all have some type of bondage. We are all in bondage.
Yeah. So, kid, I guess I answered your question, or we're starting to chip away at your question. Why don't we accept therapy?
Right.
Whew. Like, you know what? And to be honest, like I said, I've had good friends of mine that have been a part of that and done it for years, and I still haven't done it because there's a part of my mind that says if you do that, you're weak. Mm-hmm. And I know, and even, you know what I'm saying, even at my advanced age, I know that that's not accurate. I know it's not the smart way to deal with situations, but you know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? Like maybe it's like some New York stuff, Dr. Eve, you know what I'm saying? Like, just like,
it's a hard knock life.
You weak. But I will say this. I was thinking about this the other day because I was thinking about how, how I try to deal with young people who I'm trying to influence. And I always looked at people or older people that they pointed their finger at young people. They pointed their finger like da 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 da, instead of putting their arm around them. Mm-hmm. What is your goal? If your goal is to affect change, if your goal is to do something positive, then don't point your finger, don't shake your finger at young people. Don't shake your finger at them, because they ain't gonna get down with that. You're gonna turn them off. You're gonna turn them off. Mm-hmm. What if you put your arm around them? You know what I mean? I deal with young people all the time, man. The young people come, I can't. And whatever tip they on, it could be some wild. Sometimes these kids is wilding, and I don't point my finger at them. I put my arm around them, and I'm like, man, what's going on, bro? Ain't there a better way we can do this? Not like you doing wrong and you didn't think, and young bucks ain't gonna listen to you.
Right.
Who's gonna listen to you? Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Put your arm around. I mean, if that's what your goal is your goal to feel better than them, is your goal to disgrace them? Okay, fine. Keep doing that. But if your goal is to solve a problem, if your goal is to solve, is to bring people together, then you put your arm around them, and guess what you get? You get a lot better results.
Absolutely.
Kid, this is incredible for somebody who doesn't believe in therapy. You are a therapist.
I was going to say something about that.
I'm like, you are the epitome. You are the epitome of therapy. Yep. That is empathy. That is empathy. Empathy is the root of therapy.
Exactly.
And I'm going to have you read a book.
I need a book. Please hit me in the head with the book. What's the book? Please.
Maybe you should talk to someone.
Yeah. You would be an incredible.
That's the book. That's the name of the book.
Oh, that's
maybe you should talk to. Yes.
Ah.
Bestseller. It's about a therapist also needing therapy.
It's called Talk to Somebody, right? Word.
Yeah. Maybe you should talk to someone. And that's incredible. And what's more incredible, I think, for us is, so no one put their arms around us. Mm-hmm. But we broke that chain, right? And we are raising our children with the arm around them, Mm-hmm. So someone should study us, the ones who are bridging that gap between getting beat down for everything you said or did the wrong way, and how we're raising our kids. Now, it's a big experiment. I don't know how my kids are going to turn out. There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees either way, right? I know some of my friends who got equally beat down as I did, and they didn't break, and they're locked up.
And they went left.
Left. And, there's some kids you put your arms around them. It helps. And sometimes it doesn't. But I think there's something more to the putting your arms around someone and giving them a chance to see their ways, not imposing your will.
I'll say this. I got 3 kids. I mean, well, they're adults now. I never beat them. Not one time. Number one, because that was just my vibe. Like, nah, man, like, cause I got beat down. So I'm like, nah, I'm gonna beat down. And number 2, their moms beat them down a lot. So it was covered. So that, you know what I'm saying? Like, the beat down was covered. So I was trying to be like the other, like, man, that's fucked up how you got beat down. I'm trying to work it.
Let me give you a hug.
I'm trying to work it.
You were the good parent.
I'm trying to work from the other angle. You know what I'm saying? So many things that are facing us in the world today, so many things that come across our plate, so many people struggling, people of color. So we take note of that. And Nigeria always comes up, like, and there's some oppressive brutality that's going on in Nigeria right now that's like you can't even watch it. And this thing, like, I don't know, like I reach out to y'all, like, we're the ones talking about police brutality in our country, in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
But there's certain visuals that I see in Africa, man, I can't even watch it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's something extra violent. Is that me? Like I don't get it. I don't get it. And then it makes you go back in your mind. You're going back in your mind. You're going back at Idi Amin. You're like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's us. That's our people. But man, we pretty violent when we need to be.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I think some of us had to be, and we've learned how to be violent. Oftentimes, and I'm going to go right back, I don't care how far we go, I'm going right back to African slavery. I don't know. We just end up there. We end up there. We talk about in the enslavement period and the diaspora, to America, to the Caribbean, and oftentimes we forget about on the mother continent itself, the legacy of enslavement, because Nigerians were enslaved. They're forced to take slaves. Some of them are in Nigeria. Nigeria just got their independence, in the 60s, I believe, correct? I think it was in the 60s they got their independence. That's still a young country, comparative. And so when you look at how they got their independence and the atrocities that they had to go through with the British colonizers in their country, and to only have their independence, so a young country, 40, 50, 60 years, 50 years old. So if you think about it, during this period of enslavement and atrocities, who were killed? Their leaders, their doctors, their lawyers, or people that could have made that country amazing. And the legacy on that is they're scrambling, just like us right now, trying to find their way. So when we speak about violence, there's always a side of me that thinks that we often forget about the brutalities that was left by the Europeans. When they left those countries, they've had to pick up and try to make something out of nothing. Because most of their artifacts, their history, it was all taken abroad. Think about it. Their culture, their history, the things that they can make them, it's gone. And so when you hear about SARS, it's their special anti-robbery squad, I think that's what it's called. And they're supposed to go out and they're in unmarked vehicles, they're in they're strapped, they're in unidentified clothing. And the idea was to help the people of Nigeria, but it turned into be something else, where they again followed suit with robberies and rapes and killings. And I believe Sunday, their president came out and revamped that whole system. Unlike the U.S. president, he realized something had to be done. And I give him credit. What's the president's name there? Anybody remember what it is? I wrote it down. I forgot his name. Abu something.
So I think that Dr. Valerie, I think, as you were speaking to this, I was thinking of the history of Haiti, which I know best.
Mm.
You know, the question becomes, what do we do once we get our quote unquote freedom?
Mm-hmm.
You know, people are not, they're still betting against us, and they want us to fail. You know, when the British leave or the French leave or the Spaniards leave, they don't want us to succeed. That was the history of Haiti. You know, they said, okay, you don't want us, but we're not going to deal with you, even though you have gold, you have sugar, you have all of these rubies. We're not going to deal with you. Our soul, you know, we can't enslave you anymore, but we're still going to beat you down. We're still going to put our knees on your neck. And the question is, how do we see past this? How do we get together and see that we're just being played, we're just pawns?
Yep.
You know, and we're beating up our own people. We are enslaving our own people. That's where we have to see that this is all still part of the same systematic setup for us to fail.
To fail. Mm-hmm.
And got to break out of these chains.
Absolutely.
It's the same story. It is the same story. It may be a little difference on the theme.
And you know what?
Yep.
And you know what? Not to cut you off, but to me, this is why I'm into. Look, I'm just into this discussion. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen with this. Like, you know, this discussion is just, you know, just helping me. But it lets me know that it's gonna have to happen on different tiers. It's gonna have to happen on a medical level. It's gonna have to happen on a psychological, mental level. And then it's going to have to happen on a musical level, because a lot of times that's a way that ideas and things get across, you know. So I had a great time today, because I was like I got something out of it, like, you know what I mean, like I said, she about to get in. My girl about to get in like 5 minutes, and I'm gonna have like, hey, I might have all kind of stuff for her, you know what I mean? So I had a good.
Hey, Dr. Valley, what's your hourly? Because I'm about to send my bill.
Exactly. Look,
I'm about to send mine along with it.
Look, y'all ain't getting nothing. You know what you get? You ain't getting nothing. You ain't
just send me
nothing.
that Mona Lisa, and we call it even. Send me that Mona Lisa.
You ain't getting nothing. You ain't getting nothing today. You ain't getting nothing today. I stole it, and I'm
you know,
I'm gonna owe you on that. But
you know, I want to tie this back into another thing concerning how we need to understand this. You know, I have friends in corporate America, Black friends, who tell me when it comes to sponsorship and moving forward, invariably, it's a white man who sponsors them and helps them get to that next level. They struggle to find people like them that are going to put them on. And that's another thing we need to talk about. And I've experienced that. Mm-hmm. I've had people do things for me that, wow, I didn't ask for it. And, you know, just through my relationships. And brothers and sisters we're not doing the same for each other. I don't know if it's because once we've made it, we feel, and I could understand it as a Black, there's a certain insecurity once you've made it, because you just feel like, man, if I slip up, if I recommend the wrong person, you know, this is going to say something about me, and my brand is so important. Where maybe there's just a different mindset as a white successful male, where you're not worried about your brand. You can make mistakes. You could do whatever. You could just no big deal. Oh, that didn't work. I'm sorry. My bad. You know, where brothers and sisters feel that they absolutely have to get it perfect. They have to get it right. There's no, you know, and then we end up just not supporting each other. You know, we don't feel empowered. We don't feel comfortable enough in our skin, maybe. Or maybe our resources, we never feel our money is right enough. I don't know. But that's something we have to look into.
I agree with you. It reminds me of the parable, crabs in the barrel syndrome. You know, we're in the barrel we claw and rip each other's arms off and bite each other's eyes out, trying to the top of that barrel. And it speaks a lot going back to our mental health. I don't care how we go slavery, then we go mental health. It just goes right back into that we have suffered so much. We don't even know how to help ourselves. So it's easy for us to tear down each other. You know, they talk about that a lot with post-traumatic stress syndrome, you know, where we actually tear down and harm ourselves, our families, others close to us. That's a part of our stresses because of what we have and what we're going through. And I think we just, you know, what you said was we have to have conversations with Black leaders about these things. And then once we have the conversations, then what do we do to help heal and move forward? If we blah, blah, and don't do anything, I'm getting tired of blah, blah. Give me action steps to get well. Let me know what actions to tell my people to help them get well. That's what I want to be about. That's my change.
Yeah.
Bang. Bang. That's a bang. And you know what? And Jeff can speak to this. And guess what? I can speak to that. And you know what? Every one of us that has something bring to bear. If the messages that we're talking about, you know what I mean? Like whoever we can get, whoever the most prestigious or noteworthy people that we can get to talk about these issues, because guess what? They're worth talking about. That's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. And guess what? They're gonna be entertaining as everything.
Yeah,
we're gonna make them entertaining, as sometimes as disconcerting, as disheartening as they may start out. But you know how it is. It's always how it starts, and we make it cool, and we make it funky, and we make it funny or entertaining. You know what I'm saying?
And relevant.
And relevant. Stop it, yo.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's sometimes as a rapper, as an entertainer, sometimes it's really frustrating. Like you know, like you're just like, man, like we're always there for you, huh? We're always there for you. Black entertainers, Black rappers, Black comedians, Black entertainment, period. We're always there for you, aren't we?
Absolutely.
No matter what's going on, we're always there for you.
That's why what you do is a form of therapy. But guess what?
But Dr. Val, what happened when I need therapy? Who coming for me?
We here for you.
We're here for you. You gotta call me out.
I know you here, but I'm talking about them other folks.
But Chris, what have we been doing for the past 2 hours tonight?
That is
Let me tell you something.
We here for you.
You right about that. You know, I was thinking about that. Let me tell you something. I don't care what happened with this thing here. I need to talk to y'all every week. All right? Can we make Can we make a pact? I don't know if it's helping you, but it's sure helping me. Said I had a bad day today.
It's all
my,
good.
my girl tried to kill me today. I was like, so I need, and I'm sure that people that people need it too. You know what I mean? I need it. I need it. You know, I don't know if y'all need it, but I need it, and that's what we, if we can talk about stuff like, like they said, like they had some topics or whatever, we get on them topics. Yeah, but guess what? We can get off them topics. It don't matter. Brandon.
Yo, this is a Kanye rant.
Like, we ain't gotta stay on your topics all the time.
This is Kanye.
You free. You got the liberty to take the conversation wherever.
Exactly. You know, you super duper smart. You always set us on the right path. All right, and I know that. This is one of those streams of consciousness. But guess what? We can get off that. We can get off that because that's how life is. You know what
that is. And you know what? And these conversations that we're having are conversations that other Black Americans are having, that other Black people and other African Americans, Caribbeans, and Africans are having. They're having these kinds of conversations, and I think it's important and that we continue to do this work, to give voice to those that don't have a voice. To let the entertainer such as you, kid, know that whether you realize it or not, what you do, your comedy, it is a form of therapy for many of us to rely on comedy to help us get through something. Because in your stories, with the way you present them, we can relate to that. So it is very imperative that we keep these kinds of conversations going. And if we want to rant, if we want to cry about it, I mean, we're human beings doing the work, putting ourselves out here on this podcast. Right. So, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to be real, if something comes up, y'all some wipe a tear, I'm going to keep it going because it's real stuff we're talking about. We're not just trying to just be, we are in it and trying to impact and make change.
Absolutely. So here we are.
Kanye.
Easy.
I was watching something earlier today. I don't know how I got caught on a thread or whatever, like on YouTube or whatever like that, and I got caught on like a bunch of Bernie Mac videos. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know how I got caught on it, but
YouTube recommendations.
Yeah, he's somebody that I work with, on House Party 3, and somebody that that I got tight with, and just like Robin Harris, like somebody that I work with really tight. I know this dude, man, and so you get caught up, and I started watching, these videos, his comedy and whatever, and a lot of it was like. It was amazing. Like some people, like white people would say, like I don't even understand what he said. Like what did he say? And we're like we know what he said. Like and Dr. Eves, people Caribbean and Jamaican descent. Like you know what I mean. You know how I go. Like I've posted stuff that. Jamaican people have posted, and then other people like I don't even know what he said, but I'm like, bruh, I know exactly what he said,
and you can't translate it. It can only be said the way it was said.
What? No, trust me. I'll send you this thing. You look on my Instagram, and it was about how. They said it was like an old John Wayne movie, right? And they said if a Jamaican, wrote this, and you know what I mean, and they flipped the whole thing. They just changed the whole dialogue. They said You wanna know something? I said, what? Me can't swim. He said, you can do what? Me can't swim. They said, how old you be? Me a 6. He said, and the dude had a little like fishing pole. He took the fishing pole, he took like one on that daylight and threw the kid in the water. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like man, you gonna learn to swim today.
That's it. That's it.
And
That's
what
how
happened?
we roll.
What? How'd they do us back in the days, Dr. E? What they did? They throw you in the water.
I told my wife, my son was taking swimming lessons at the age of 2. I'm like, what kind of nonsense is this? I said, I didn't have swimming lessons. My cousin pushed me in the pool, and that was it. I either came up or I
But I'm gonna say you bought that thing. He said, you know, you wanna know something? Me can't swim. He said, you can do what? Like he couldn't believe it. Like, is that how old you be? Me a 6. A 6? Man, he grabbed the nigga. He said, what a daylight, and threw him in the thing. And then wait, you see it, and then his mama come out. What you do my kiki in the water? He said, me wild. And then the dude he swings to the edge, and he said, me good, me learn how to swim. Stop it. You know what? I swear to God, son.
So I'll finish my story. So after all those lessons, my little man can't swim.
You gotta throw him in, my G.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? But
I can't. My wife is around.
I'm just saying, there's so many. There's so many ways of my father, my OG Jamaican father, that I didn't use on my kids. Like, man, they ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? But there was a lot of things that, like, you know what? They work. Exactly. Give it to them. Don't cheat on them. Don't let them off. You got to toughen them up. The world is tough.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I watch stuff on TV all the time, and these kids, man, they're like, yo, you bubble wrap these kids, so when they get out in the world, they not ready. They not ready for the world, man. You can't bubble wrap these kids, man. And I'm not saying you got to go as hard as my father did, but you can't be easy on them.
Exactly.
Am I crazy?
Well, nope.
You're right.
It's that balance, and I think that's what we bring to the table. You know, we had the hard part, and we're gonna balance it off with the new way of doing things, and maybe that's the better combination.
Yeah. It's a new way of doing things.
Right.
I think what we're trying to do with this podcast,
Absolutely.
Bringing light and teaching and talk about a new way of being within Blackness. And what does that mean? Because you have to face it, all over the world, there's anti-Blackness. Mm-hmm. It's global. It's anti-Blackness. And that's what really we're facing. It's anti-Blackness, no matter how you look at it.
Absolutely.
And when I think about, our mental health, and I know we were joking about Kanye, but to watch him, he's still in the bid. I think he tweeted something about he was like running in something in Kentucky, right? That he was like number 1 or something like that. And and I know we laugh, but then there's a part of me, it's also really sad because I see his mental illness playing out on the world. And my heart, actually, just being a human, my heart also hurts for his family. I'm not a Kardashian person. I really care less. But he has a wife and his kids, Black children.
Yeah. Yes.
They're seeing their father's mental illness play out.
Yeah.
And what is it? Paranoid schizophrenic? Is that what he is, Dr. Eve?
I don't know. He might be bipolar. I don't know exactly.
That's it, bipolar.
You know, but regardless, it's mental health.
Mhm.
It needs therapy.
Exactly.
It may need medication.
Mhm.
It may need love.
Absolutely.
It may need you know, that arm around, that hug. It needs a lot of things. It needs to be understood that it's not necessarily curable. It could be managed.
Mm-hmm.
It's tricky, and we, you know, thank you, Brandon. We should talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we should talk about it. I think our default is to not want to talk about it, to laugh about it, but it's a real thing. And, you know, and I always tell people, I think it's harder than actually having like diabetes or some other medical condition where you could actually, you know, maybe you have a chance to do something about it. Not all things, but maybe, right?
Mm-hmm.
This thing is like, it's slippery. It's one,
Mm-hmm.
you know, 3 months you're making the best album ever,
Mm-hmm.
and the next month you're I don't
Banana, yeah, you bananas Foster. You fucking you bananas, yo. You bananas.
It's playing out.
And they always say, you know, like a lot of geniuses have a touch of it, but and maybe some have that enough balance to be functional and successful.
Not me. Not me. I'm just a genius.
You are a genius, kid. You're definitely a genius.
I am not a genius. I ain't no.
Yes, you are quite brilliant. Since I've got to know you, you are quite brilliant. Don't
exactly.
We're going to get rid of that imposter syndrome, which is another way of saying, you know, you have this colonial mindset that's been wrapped around, but you are brilliant. Exactly. You cannot last this long in your industry without brilliance. Let your light shine.
Or without killing yourself.
Literally. Let me tell you something, both you doctors. I ain't no genius.
If you say so, but we digress on that one.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you get off with that one. You're brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah. Guess what? You know what? Like I said, I really look, Brandon, you gotta chop this up and make it funky. Okay. But if you can't chop this up and make this palatable and interesting to people, then I'm gonna come get you. I know where you live.
No, I think we're good. The last thing, the very, very last topic is I just want to touch on and I apologize, I did jump in and out, but it was the Coming to America movie. I just want to briefly touch on that. And we're good to go. After that, I'm loving the conversation, so I'm enjoying it just like how you guys are, you know, enjoying it and cross talking. I'm an observer. I'm a witness.
I wonder, Kid, do you think Kid was just talking about how, you know, we Black entertainment keeps us going. Always, right? Always there for us.
Always.
What was this? The number seems, you know, initially it seems like a high number, but was it really?
Wait. Maybe break that down again. Wait, say that again.
Did they undervalue Coming to America?
Interesting question. Like, Coming to America, excuse me, Coming to America, it was such an important movie, you know what I mean, for the culture.
Yeah.
And not just for the culture, like Coming to America, that's how great Eddie Murphy was. Like, that was a great movie for America, like for the world, you know what I mean? Like, it was bigger than that. So I don't, you know, they trying to do it again. I don't know how they're gonna outdo that, because it was already awesome. But I respect and love Eddie Murphy so much that, like, if there's a way to figure it out, he gonna figure it out. But I remember what I can speak to is the movie at that time. You know, Coming to America was so amazing because it it showed us as royalty.
Yep.
It showed black people as royalty. Like,
First time I think I saw that in a movie.
I mean, Dr. Val, I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Like,
no, you're 100%
everything,
right.
like we were royalty. I don't know a movie prior to that.
No.
That said that spoke to that gave us that you know what I mean, gave us that impact.
Really quick, Kid. I'm sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to give a little bit of context to the original Coming to America. The original movie came out in 1988 and it grossed nearly 300 million, but this is nearly 300 million in 1988 money. And if you adjust that for inflation, today that would be about almost just short of $700 million. So to put it in context, Amazon paid 125 million. Obviously, this is a lot more money than I've ever even remotely seen in my life. But the original movie in today's money did just short of 700 million. So I think Dr. Eve was kind of getting into, did they underpay? But we also are considering like the coronavirus, pandemic, and how movie theaters aren't really a thing anymore, but streaming is a thing. So it's a nuanced conversation. But with that in mind, what do you guys think?
So, Kid, I think you were right. This Brandon kid is special because he did exactly what I was doing right now.
And great minds think alike.
And I'm gonna put a quote to it. It was the highest earning film that year for the studio and the third highest grossing film at the United States Post Box Office.
Yeah.
So, and now to what Brandon's point is, now we're sitting at home, we have nothing to do. That first movie was iconic. They basically paid what they made back then, not even adjusted, back in 1988. So,
good. Right.
But then doesn't that speak to Black excellence being underpaid and underappreciated?
That is my point. That's the
conversation is going.
That's my question.
I love where this conversation is going.
Right?
and then we put the label Black excellence. Our eyes open wide at the 125 million. I mean, is that really money? Is that real? Is that real money?
In comparative, no, it's chump change.
Are we really getting paid for the excellence?
No.
Exactly.
That's the question. We're like, 125 million. Oh my God, it's amazing.
I think,
but when you break it down, no.
I think when you consider the amount of money, 125 million, but you kind of compare it to what the money that they grossed back then would be now, then you add some speculation on it with how much it could be because it's a sequel. We should be talking Marvel money, honestly.
Right?
Yo, I think there has to be a back end deal on that, though.
I hope so.
But listen, we don't know the deal. Look. LeBron, listen. LeBron is redoing House Party, okay, in their own way, and I'm sure it's going to be amazing because he grew up with House Party. He loved House Party. He would never disrespect House Party. And it doesn't matter if House Party doesn't have Kid and Play. Like I'm not worried about it in the least. I don't care if I'm in it or not. It doesn't matter if I'm in it or not. I know it's in the hands of somebody that respects the brand. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So same thing with Coming to America. Like, man, I don't know who's producing it. Like, they ain't gonna let Coming to America come out foul. No,
that's true.
They would know. Why? You know what I'm saying? Or if you do, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get the backlash. You're gonna get like, yo, how you fucked that up, man? You fucked up Home to America. You fucked up a house party. Like what is wrong with you?
You know,
nobody want that. Nobody want that. So LeBron, he got the writers and producers from Atlanta to do this new version of House Party.
Oh, that's gonna be sick.
Please, like, stop it. So guess what? I go to I sleep easy. He ain't gonna mess that up. And he's LeBron. He a winner. You know what I'm saying? So same thing. So I put Coming to America in that same category. And to everybody's point, to Dr. Val's point, it's like, yo, these are some of these things in our culture that we have to protect, you know, that we respect. Like if a dude was trying to do Cooley High, get like, yo, man, don't mess that up. Right. Don't mess up the things that we love. Don't mess up House Party. Mm. Don't mess up Coming to America. You know, don't mess that up, right, bruh. Sure, don't mess that up.
I think the brand will be tight, kid.
Yeah, the brand.
I think so too, but you know, you just gotta tell them though.
so let me ask it in a different way. So Black Panther 2. Anybody?
Why you want to do that?
Because you're gonna pay 125. You're gonna let that slip for 125 million?
Who gonna play Black Panther though, bro?
I know. Look, who's
gonna play Black Panther, bro? That's all I'm saying. Look, you know what I'm saying?
All due respect, but it's one of those things.
I can't see it. I'm like, I'm still crying.
Yeah.
About dude, yo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You talking about
too soon.
Way too soon, my G. Way too soon, my G, because and it was so, oh man, that was so painful. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely.
You know what I mean? So absolutely. I'm not saying never, but I'm saying like, man, you got it. You know, we got to chill, bro.
All right, we're gonna let that one rest. But I hope you know what I was trying to get at.
No. I totally. Yeah, no question. Yeah. And there may come a time, and there's then there's other opportunities for some of our heroes to keep going and move forward. Absolutely, yeah. I'm with that. You know what I mean? But man, that one just just.
I think ultimately. I think ultimately, you know, when we talk about movies like Coming to America and the legacy that it has, you know, it's definitely a nuanced topic. I think everybody here is under the consensus that we want, you know, the best opportunities for Black Americans, and you know, whether you're in the athletic spectrum of things, or if you're an actor and you have a movie. You know, we have a history of not being paid what we're worth. And that may not even necessarily be the conversation topic at hand now, but, you know, I think it's great to see, you know, folks like Eddie Murphy be able to come out with these movies, potentially get what they're worth, and, you know, continue to build on that legacy of content and, you know, things that have brought smiles to every one of our faces. So, you know, it's a great thing overall. I'm happy to see Coming to America coming back. You know, I know they got the business done because it is Eddie Murphy, and you know, we'll see what happens.
And he got a lot of kids. He got like 3 times more than you do, Chris.
Nigga, my G, he got 10 kids.
10.
He got 10?
He got 10 kids. Yo, I saw an interview with him like yesterday, day before yesterday. And he was interviewing with somebody. And he's like, hey, I got 10 kids, man. And he said people look at it different ways. Like some people look at it like, God, you got fucking 10 kids. You know what I mean? Like sometimes white people look at it like, man, motherfucker, you got 10 kids. And then black women look at you got 10 kids. You know, like, you know,
11?
Yeah, like exactly. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like he was just like, And he was like, yo, I got 10 kids. And I'm looking at it like, motherfucker, I was like, I know you got a whole lot of money, but motherfucker, you got 10 kids? I got 3 kids, and I'm thinking like, I did too much. You know? That's how I look at it, you know what I'm saying? But guess what? I ain't got, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got $200 million. He's like, you know what I mean? 10 kids. How you remember everybody's name? I got 3 kids. I don't remember these motherfuckers' names. You know what I mean? 10 kids. Dr. Valerie. 10 kids.
I can't relate. No.
10 kids.
How many? He's got 3 wives, right? Is it 3 or 4 wives?
No.
Oh.
He had 2. Wait, no, he had 1, right? Who's a friend of mine. Old girl. You talking about, you know, light skin. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, light skin.
Yeah. That's first wife. That's wife, right? First one. He had like 5 with her. Then he had one with the Spice Girls chick. Remember that? Man, he all over the place, man. Stop it.
Oh, okay. I forgot about
Stop
it.
it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then he got married again with the Cuban girl. I think he got 1 or 2 with her, whatever. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Cuban.
Just spreading the seed. Just spreading the seed. Lord.
And guess what? He you know what I'm saying? Guess what? If I was worth $200 million, I'd be popping it. I'd be popping it. Right?
We always end up how we started.
Right. Can we end it on that topic?
Safety first.
Safety first.